Hello, this is Dana Arcuri, author, speaker, and wellness coach from danaarcuri.com. And today I wanted to talk about something that is very delicate. It's a difficult topic for me, but I feel like God's calling me to step out, and in the midst of my grieving, that I should share this because it could help other people. It could give them hope, and it could give them encouragement, and it could help them through their own grief and loss. And so I wanted to share about how God uses amazing, powerful signs and wonders to speak to us, and that God can use books and dreams and music and scriptures and people and situations and just things in nature. He could use it to reveal himself. He could use it to pour out his love and his grace and his compassion upon us, especially when we are suffering, when we are going through a very difficult time of trials and hardships and maybe spiritual warfare. And so I wanted to just share something that happened to me recently. And for those who are not aware, for the past 2 months, I've been in the middle of a book launch, and it's been a delayed book launch. It's been a hard book launch. It's been a book launch where things haven't gone as planned. And the Adobe has crashed. The file of my book repeatedly crashed. And it's just at a point where earlier this week, my editor had to send me a message and email me and say, I'm very sorry, but we need to start over. We need to just rebuild your book from scratch, which means a more delay and more postponements. But we want to do this right, and we know that this was just a little glitch, and that, everything will work out, and we're just going to give you the best book we can with the formatting, with the editing, and so forth. And the best way is to start over. And so I definitely agreed, and when I read that this Monday, I was a little bit surprised that I wasn't upset, that I wasn't maybe angry or just frustrated or feeling so defeated, but instead I had peace, and I didn't know why exactly that I had peace. I mean, now looking back, I know what happened this week, and I know why God gave me peace, which I'll get into that. But sometimes we have to trust that even though things are falling apart, that our setback is really a setup, and God knows the timing. He goes before us, and he knows what is happening in our lives, and he can actually protect us and set things up in a way that they will come together in his timing. And it might not be our timing, and we might think, oh my goodness, it's not happening the way I planned, and nothing's going right, and what's wrong? But that's okay. It's okay that things don't always go right. And so that was what was going on with me. And on top of it, I really can say I felt like spiritual warfare was at the most intense level that I have ever endured in the midst of a book launch, in the midst of getting my book published. I've had 2 other books, and I've experienced, challenges and technical difficulties and heavy duty opposition. But I have to say with this book, it has been ferocious. And so that just leads me to believe that God's going to use this book even more so to touch other lives in the most powerful way. And that I know that the reason the intensity is up is because the enemy knows that there is awesome, valuable content in my book that is going to set people free, that is going to help them with healing, that's going to help them with their body, with their mind, with their spirit, and it's going to help increase their quality of life. And of course, the enemy only wants to kill and destroy and to steal our joy. And so I understand that, and I have, the past few months, understood what's going on, even though it's not easy, even though it's hard. But what's going on that other people aren't aware of, and I don't always talk about it. A few people know about it, and I've shared a little bit on Facebook recently. But what else is going on, which has been really difficult, which just kind of adds to the stress and adds to the chaos, is that my 12-year-old lab, his name's Samson, was slowly dying. And I'll show a picture. So it's my father-in-law. My father-in-law is in that picture, and that's Samson. So there you go. There he is. There's Samson. Just a really, really wonderful disposition. We've had him since he was a puppy. The best dog anyone can have. I mean, a guard dog, a gentle dog. He may have acted like this ferocious, tough, guard dog. He would get into like guard dog mode, but he was really a teddy bear. Just a teddy bear, an affectionate, loving, fun, exuberant, most selfless laboratory, retriever that anybody could want. And so he has been loved dearly by my husband, my 3 children, and I, and many friends and family. Nevertheless, his year has been hard. His health has been failing. Just different things with his kidneys, his upper respiratory distress, possible emphysema. His hind legs have been going to such a degree that the last 2 weeks were so pitiful. Lots of falling, just lots of complications. And there was this sadness on his face. It was very difficult for me to watch him, to suffer. And as a human being, I can't watch someone suffer, especially my pet, my furry friend. We could no longer stand by and watch this horrible suffering. And we know that the right thing to do was to allow him to die in dignity and to let the pet, let the vet take over and do what he needed to do. It wasn't easy. Everyone has to make their own choice. Everyone has to respect other people's, because other people have their own ideas and their own decisions and opinions. But for us, we knew it was Sam's time, and we knew if we let him go any longer, it is going to get even more grueling, more painful, more suffering. We didn't believe it was right. So it was a hard decision. And it ended up that this Thursday, on our 27th wedding anniversary, so here we are in the middle of a 27th wedding anniversary. We should be celebrating, we should be happy, but it was a very sad anniversary in which Samson was put down and we had to say goodbye. And so we didn't go out. We were supposed to go out to a very upper scale, fine dining. And of course, we canceled. We just couldn't do it. It was just not the time, not the place. So we know we'd have to put that off. And so the whole family is in tears. The pain is unlike anything I've ever had in my entire life. I mean, people have passed away. I've had friends pass away. I've had relatives pass away. I've had a lot of people in my life who I lost. And I have to be honest, losing a pet it's not the same as losing, say, your relatives, your friends. But I don't know if this is sounding cold, and I don't want it to come across as that, because, I dearly loved all the people who have passed away who are in my life. But for some reason, I'll be honest, losing Samson is right now the worst pain I've ever felt. And it just hurts to such a high degree, where you just have to take 1 minute at a time, one breath at a time, and just take one day and just remind yourself, he's no longer in pain. And we had 12 wonderful years together. We have to remind ourselves of the fun times. We have to remind ourselves of what great, fun, beautiful memories that we will treasure forever. And we have to hold on to that. We have to hold on to the good and look at the positive to help us mourn this loss. But I feel like God really used something powerful the day after to just touch me and speak to me and let me know how much he loves me and that he understands. And I wanted to share that today. So the topic is powerful signs through a cardinal. And so it was the day after Samson passed away. And my husband said, I really think we should just force ourselves to go out to dinner. And even though we are not in the mode, we don't want to. He said, I really don't want to see our anniversary come and go. And we never did anything. He said, so I know we don't feel like it, but I think in a way it could be good for us to just take a little break. Just go out to dinner. It could be somewhere casual. We don't have to do fine dining and dressing up. We could just go somewhere casual. Just get a piece of pizza, anything, just to get away for a little bit. And I thought, you know what? We should do this. So I went into my bedroom and I'm putting on my makeup, flat ironing my hair, and I'm trying to focus on that and not start crying again. Okay. So it was really challenging. I'm trying just focus, just, okay, you could get through this. You could do it. I'm trying to cheer myself on, trying to, encourage myself. And I started hearing this sound outside my window. Oh, you know what? I have to back up for 1 second because this is probably the most powerful part of the story. Right before I heard this bird call, I was, putting on my makeup and getting ready to flat iron my hair when I said to God a silent prayer. And I said, Lord, this is so hard, and I need you to reveal yourself. I need you more right now. I need to know that you're in the middle of this grieving and loss, and I need you to give me a sign, God. I need a sign from you. And that was it. I, ended the prayer, continued on, putting on my blush, mascara, when I started hearing a bird call outside my bedroom window. And it wasn't the typical bird call. It was something that was unfamiliar. The sound was unfamiliar, but it was very clear and loud enough that it did catch my attention. And so I walked over to my window and I looked out, and there's a tree right there. And there was this really beautiful red cardinal on the tree. And it was kind of amazing that the bird just looked at me, and I just kind of looked at it, and I'm thinking, that bird is so beautiful. And I don't remember ever seeing a cardinal in my backyard or even around my house for the past 5 years that we've lived here. So this really is something to take notice of. And, that's a little bit, ironic or just amazing. And so I'm watching the bird, and the bird stayed there for quite a while, just singing, calling, and I'm watching it. And then I looked at my watch, and I'm thinking, okay, I need to get back to work and finish my hair and makeup because we're going out to dinner. I need to get moving and stay on task. So I walk back to my mirror, and I'm getting ready. And all of a sudden, it hit me. This thought hit me. I just prayed for a sign. I asked God, reveal yourself to me. Show yourself to me. I need you more right now. Give me a sign. And so I thought to myself, could this red cardinal be a sign? Could this red cardinal calling and singing be a sign from God? So I thought to myself, well, what's the symbolism of a red cardinal? What does a red cardinal mean? I have a picture. So here's a picture. I have a calendar from last year, and here's a northern cardinal. You can see, they're so beautiful. They are so beautiful. Anyways, I decided to go online get real quick on my Kindle, real quick look up, what does a cardinal mean? And I just felt like God wanted me to do this. God wanted me to check this out. Just check it out. So I did. And I was blown away. When I started reading this description of the symbolism of a red cardinal, I was in awe. For one, cardinal, if you break up the word, and I'm not sure if it's Latin, and I don't have those notes in front of me, but it means cardio, means heart. Okay, so your heart. And so think right now, cardio, cardinal, heart. My heart was breaking. Okay? And one symbol of a cardinal is heart. Then if you look at the color, it's a flaming red. Okay? It's flaming red. It's brilliant. It's beautiful. It means the blood of Christ. It is, for Christians, a symbolism of the blood of Christ. So that really spoke to me. And I actually wrote down on paper just a highlight of what is the symbolism of the red cardinal and how it relates to my situation and how God used this red cardinal and this sign to pour out his love and his grace during a time of grieving and loss for me. And so this is what it said. It says, there are times when it may be possible for a little red cardinal to get our attention when nothing else, especially in times of depression and grief. Cardinals can bring color and vitality into our lives. Their crimson color can remind us of the importance of ourselves as individuals in the circle of life. As the cardinal red color is symbolic of faith, it can remind us to keep the faith through circumstances that might look bleak, dark, and hopeless. You are a vital element in the circle of life, and regardless of where you are in that cycle, You always have the opportunity for restoration, revitalization, and renewal. The call of a cardinal can come to cheer us up and cheer us on. The unique clarity of his call can be used to gain our attention and lift us up from depression, sorrow, and perhaps even our ordinariness. And so when I read that, I knew God gave me a sign. I know that red cardinal was not accidentally just flying into my yard and singing and calling on this particular day at this particular time after Samson passed away, and I'm trying to get through this loss and I am falling to pieces. I believe that God used this red cardinal to touch me, to touch my heart, to say, you know what? I understand you're brokenhearted, and I am going to pour out my love. I'm going to use this cardinal. I'm going to pour out my love for you. I'm giving you a sign that I am here. I am present. I am powerful, and I am with you in the middle of your despair and your sorrow and this heavy-hearted grief. I am with you, and I love you. And I am just grateful beyond measure that God would do that for me, that God would make himself so real and so powerful when I was at my weakest moment. And he says in scriptures that he does use wonders and he does use signs, and he could use it through anything, whether it's a dream, whether it's a book, music, people, rainbows, sermons, an inspirational quote, nature, whatever it could be. God can use anything for his divine purpose, to reveal himself, to speak to us, and to pour out his love upon our lives in such a powerful way. And so in Hebrews 2:4, it says, God also bearing witness with them, both by signs and wonders, and by manifold powers, and by gifts of the Holy Spirit, according to his own will. And so as I just embrace the love that God has revealed to me, as I embrace the sign of the cardinal, the beautiful red cardinal who showed up not by accident, not by coincidence, but on purpose, because our awesome God chose to touch me, to speak to me, to give me a sign that during my loss, he is with me. And so I'm praying today that whatever you're going through, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, whether it's medical illness, whether it's financial chaos and ruin, whether it's through divorce or foreclosure or an abortion or serious obstacles that are just ripping your heart to shreds, my prayer is that today that this will give you hope, that you will be building awareness and looking for God to show you signs, that step out in faith and ask God, Lord, reveal yourself to me. Show me a sign. Give me some form of hope to know that you are working behind the scenes in my life. And I pray that God will reveal himself. I pray that you will tune in to the Lord, that you will be aware of him and how faithful he is today. And so if you would like to connect with me on my writing website, you may go to danaarcuri.com. On Periscope, I'm under the name Girly Girls Guide. And on Facebook, it's also my author page, Dana Arcuri. And so I just pray this gives you hope. I pray that God gives you awesome signs and wonders to help you to be faithful and to just hold on to that hope. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.